So, very interesting takes here that the ladies are saying. It looks like it's half and half. Half the women believe that body count matters, and the other half believe it doesn't. And some of you guys said that, hey, even having a high body count doesn't make you a bad person as a woman, etc. Can we hit the elevator theme real fast? Come on over to Rumble, guys, if you guys. I'm going to give my take on it, and I'll open it up to ladies if they disagree. Are we good? We're good. Okay. So I'm going to disagree. I think that are promiscuous are bad people. And the reason why is because there's not much required of women. Men just want you to be pretty, feminine, and most importantly, not be a. And there's a reason why since the beginning of time, female promiscuity has been an issue. And the reason why is because, for one, men can't determine paternity with a woman that's promiscuous, right? We have modern convents, right? We have modern creations now where, you could do paternity tests and you could do a DNA test, but this didn't used to exist before. So if a girl was a, she would effectively have you raise a child that you thought was yours, and you might not ever know, right? And it's one of the highest forms of betrayal. I would argue that a man raising a kid that he thought was his but finds out isn't his is the equivalent to a woman being, because the man is his time and his resources in providing for a child that he thought was his. Just like a man taking from you without your permission, a man is giving his resources without his permission. So that's the functional equivalent. And this is why women that are promiscuous have been admonished since the beginning of time. And the thing also is that I don't think that there's any such thing as a high value, but I do think that all women have value, whereas all men do not have value. What do I mean by this? Well, women, by the time they're 18 years old, command the most value that they're ever going to command, really, right? Between 18 to 25 years old. So it's a woman's job to preserve and cherish that value and give it to a man that's worthy, right? That's why women are more selective on height, income, status, etc. So if I see a girl that's a and diminish her value, she doesn't deserve a man of a certain caliber, and a girl that's been more responsible with her value deserves that guy versus her. And also, girls that are promiscuous, right, tend to be bigger cheaters. You can't ensure the kid is yours. And typically that comes with trauma. Most girls that I know that are hoes, 9 out of 10 times, they're alcoholics, drug addicts. Something is wrong with them. I hate to say it, but that's just what it is. And the other thing, too, because you mentioned that if a girl's promiscuous, she's going to know what she likes and what she doesn't like. Well, if I've only drank water my entire life, I think that water's pretty damn good. But if I've drank water, then Coke Zero, maybe some Coca-Cola, Sprite, etc., well, I'm going to have a craving for that every now and then. And my water might not suffice. And what I've realized with women is, and they've done studies on this, by the way, the higher a woman's body count, the less likely the marriage is going to stay going or everlasting. Women that have the longest marriages have less than 5 bodies. Typically, they have the most successful marriages. And then virgin women have the highest rates of success with the marriage. And the reason is that it is a big part because women tend to pair bond better with men when they have less bodies. That's just how it is. And the other thing too, why it doesn't work when women are promiscuous and sport is because women are emotional lovers. What do I mean by this? It's very difficult for a woman to have sex with a man and not be connected to him to some degree. A part of her leaves her when she has sex with a bunch of dudes. I mean, most women don't want to have sex with a bunch of guys. They prefer, if they could, to have sex with just one guy that is attractive, tall, has money, charming, charismatic. They want everything in one guy. Unfortunately, most guys can't do this, so they have to maybe have sex with this guy that has money, maybe have sex with this guy that's good looking, or maybe not even fuck that guy with money, but get money out of him.
Sugar daddy.
The point is, women, it's very difficult to find a guy that has everything. But if a girl does find a guy with everything, she'd prefer to just him. So women are naturally monogamous to a degree. Men, on the other hand, are not naturally monogamous. We're naturally polygamous. We want to have sex with as many women. And here's the difference between us and you. If I go fuck another girl, I can still love you. If you go fuck another guy, it's over. And we both know that. All of you guys know that. So the reason why female promiscuity is not respected is because we know that it takes you a certain place emotionally in your head to get there. And on top of that, the kid might not be me. It's just an L all around. So that's why promiscuous women are not respected, because you're given the value up front and you waste it like an idiot. It's the equivalent to being a trust fund baby and being broke by the time you're 50. You should have invested that money appropriately.
I agree to disagree,
we can go back to
be honest. I think that it depends on the country, it depends on the religion, it depends on the principles and morals that you
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Why is it that every religion, every society since the beginning of time had issue with promiscuous women? If you look at Chinese people from the Ming Dynasty, and you compare them to Europeans, to Muslims, to Arabs, to Asians, everybody. Why have they all had an issue with female promiscuity, even though they never met each other?
Okay,
And cultures are different.
Here's something that I'm gonna bring up that it's bold as hell. Why does a Muslim woman like to get it from behind for her not to lose her down there?
Because she wants to value her purity?
No, because she still wants to experiment. But because of religion, principles, morals, and what's wrong and right, she rather keep her iman untouched.
Yeah.
Okay. Untouched and get it from the back. Does that mean that she's not promiscuous as the rest that have been trying? Also, it depends on the country, for example. What's the average range for people in America to lose their virginity? 13 years old. What about the UK? 11 on occasions. So with that being said,
that doesn't make it right, though.
I'm saying that there's an experimental...
These countries also have, hold on, if you look at it, these countries also have the highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates ever. Families are gone. Single mother households are on the rise. So, I mean, if you're going to compare the United States and the United Kingdom, we're failing societies when it comes to families and, you know, having a healthy relationship between the two genders.
I think it also has to do a lot with health insurance and all of that.
What? How does health insurance have to do with
in the
nuclear
UK?
families?
It's completely free for you to get the pill for the next day, or pills in general, condoms, whatever. Over here, for you to get the birth control, for example.
But there's still a bunch of single mothers.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you should take care of yourself if you're gonna do something. But with that being said,
But a lot don't.
Correct. And that's their laws. And then tomorrow, if they get...
Well, it's all of our laws, because who pays for the free contraceptives that you're talking about?
Taxpayers.
We pay for it. So we actually lose.
Yeah, but it's not free.
And those kids end up being degenerates and end up burdening society even more. They become criminals,
On occasions.
drug
yeah.
addicts,
Yeah,
homeless.
Yeah.
Who pays for that? We all pay for that.
true.
So we take a L. The nuclear family is the backbone of any strong society. And my thing is that female promiscuity has led to the degradation of the family unit.
Here's the thing.
And the reason for that is because of feminism. Feminism is probably the biggest contributor to the destruction of the family. This whole equality thing.
I'm not a feminist, but with that being said...
But you subscribe to feminist ideals.
I share some principles.
Because you said you want a man that's going to be chivalrous. Do you think it's fair
Correct.
for a man to work hard, earn money, become successful, and then go ahead and commit to a woman that made bad decisions in her past and is promiscuous?
I
or
think
was
that if
promiscuous?
you're a kid and lose your virginity in America or in the UK at 11 or 13 or 15, whatever age they are, and they reach a point at 18 that they don't want to keep on anybody. Like they'll
You're
be more
assuming.
selective.
They're assuming, but I mean, they end up becoming promiscuous. And my thing is this: I'm not saying that women can't be promiscuous. They could be promiscuous, but I absolutely think that women that have a bad past don't deserve a future.
Fair enough.
Because it's not fair for me as a man to work really hard in my past while you fucked off, quite literally, and then I'm responsible for taking care of you when I could have got a girl that was more pure.
But what are you saying, that you were not promiscuous as well?
A promiscuous man is not the same as a promiscuous woman. I
I
explained
understand your
At all.
point.
I would argue a promiscuous man makes you more attractive to a woman, but a promiscuous woman absolutely would destroy a man in general.
At the same time, if a woman has sex, for example, with X, Y, and Z people, and then she meets you, probably you don't have the best pee-pee in the world, but
Okay.
maybe
But guess
she
what?
connected with you on a different level for
But guess
you
what?
to...
If it was the only pee-pee, she would have known better.
Correct.
That's why you want virgins or women
No,
with low
you
body
don't.
counts.
Because what if she didn't like how you did it to her? Doesn't mean that tomorrow she's gonna be experimenting with somebody else?
Probably not, because the woman, if a girl gets with a guy and she likes him and she loses her virginity to that man, her emotional tie to that man is going to be extremely strong.
I disagree, because I've had a lot of friends that have gotten married per se. Virgins.
They lost their virginity to their husband?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
They got that divorce in a year.
Well, the stats don't reflect that. Stats reflect that when a woman marries as a virgin, the marriage lasting is extremely high. The chances of it lasting are extremely high. But the more promiscuous a woman is, the less likely the marriage is going to last. And there's a bunch of biological reasons for that. Men and women aren't the same. And I get what you're saying. Well, you shouldn't want a virgin. Who cares what you think? You're a female. Men want women that have low body counts. Just like you want a man that's going to be a protector, a provider, and take care of you. We want a girl that's going to take care of us and not be and embarrass us. Women that are promiscuous or have bad pasts destroy men's reputations. Look at Will Smith. Look at Logan Paul right now. When a girl has a bad past, it can absolutely cripple and destroy a man's reputation. Yeah. But it doesn't work the other way around.
The alternative is true, but I think some men, they like that for wifey, and then they go out and cheat with the girl that has a whole lot of body.
I knew that was coming.
But it's the truth.
Yeah,
it's
but who has?
Society.
What are you trying to get back right now?
Nothing. I'm just saying.
No. You're trying to get back your last name, right?
Right.
You took the last name of a man that you once loved, right?
Right.
Okay. So
what does that have to do with body count?
I'm going to explain that. Once a woman has a certain body count or has a certain past, she no longer qualifies for a man that values last name. Women want to take a man's last name, and I'm telling men to value your last name and not give it to a woman that isn't worthy. Because if you give it to a woman that isn't worthy, what ends up happening is she destroys that last name.
Well, it doesn't apply to me, but I took the last name to have the same last name as my children.
Okay, but regardless, you took a man's last name that at one time you loved, and you're fighting for that last name back. You want your maiden name so you can take another man's last name.
No, I'm not. See, but it's complicated to even say how we got to marriage, but no, my end goal is not to go back into marriage. I don't need to be married.
You don't want to be married?
I'm not opposed to being married, but it's not like my end goal to get rid of this last name to go get another one.
No, but you understand that carrying another man's last name is going to impact your ability to get another one, and it's going to impact your options.
How so?
You're carrying your ex's last name. You want your maiden last name so that you can have that status. This is the thing. Women don't look.
I bring more to the table than the average.
We got to operate on reality here.
Let's do that.
Women want to get married to a man who's superior to the men every single way, so they can carry that man's last name. Because having a man that's a winner's last name is a symbol of status. Okay, no one knows Vanessa Bryant's last name, but we know her last name is Bryant. Okay. Women take the man's last name for a reason because they acquire status to their man's last name. It doesn't work the other way around. This is why men need to be in leadership role. Men need to be the protectors and providers, etc. Because that's what a woman wants is a man worth's last name. So you're getting your maiden last name back, and I think that's very important and embodies kind of what I'm talking about because you understand that you're almost like getting your identity back and you're absolving yourself of that former guy.
Right.
Okay. But at one point you loved him and you took his last name.
I took 12 years to do that, and that was a legal move.
But
it was not like... So anyway, I'm not going to open that for discussion, but what I will say is there is some women, of course, that they look for men to provide for them, and I've been fortunate enough that I've never, ever needed that to be the case. So
okay.
I might be your exception, but I don't apply to your...
Okay, well, the exception doesn't make the rule. A majority of women absolutely want a man to provide for them, and I would argue, even in your case, you would want a man at least that's equal to you.
Absolutely. An ambition.
So hypergamy doesn't care. It's the truth. It's the female mating strategy. Women don't seek men that are inferior to them. They seek men that are bare minimum equal to them.
Once again,
on the other hand, men are okay with dating women that are inferior to them.
It applies to cultures. Over here in America, for example, you take the person you marry.
Stop. There's women here from all different types of cultures.
Correct.
Most of them want a man who's chivalrous.
I'm not saying...
So here's the thing. Culture only applies to some degree, but there's human being steadfast rules. Women want a leader. Women want a man that's dominant. Women want a man who's better than them, regardless of culture. And then, on top of that, promiscuity has never been respected in any culture.
Correct.
So there's just human rules that apply to all cultures, all religions, all regions of the world in general.
You interrupted me, and I couldn't finish actually what I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead,
but over here in America, you take your husband's last name. In other countries, you become of that man. You can use their last name or you cannot use their last name. It's up to you. What I mean is, for example, I don't know, I have two last names because my dad married my mom. My mom still has her last name and it's of Buccelli or de Buccelli. I don't know. But my mom her name, Bornemisa de Buccelli. She is not Buccelli. If it makes sense.
I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Is Bocelli your father's last name?
Yeah.
So she took his last name.
Nope.
She keep both.
She is Bornemisa de Buccelli.
But not.
She is Bornemisa of
I mean,
Buccelli.
She still took his
Either
last
way-
name, though. She still
No.
took his
Last
name.
She signs with her name and last name. The of is if she wants to use it.
But people know
definitely.
that she's tied to her husband anyway. So I mean, still.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah, they
natural,
do
though,
believe
from
they're
foreign.
Okay, well,
That's natural.
I,
I
feel
mean,
like the of doesn't really count. much.
The
It's just
point of the
different.
matter is that women
still have
acquire
the last
status
name, yeah.
through their men. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Men don't give a shit about women's status. No one cares about female independence or your job or your title. Men don't care about these things in general.
agree.
Women do, though. So what I'm saying is that women acquire status from their men, not the other way around. Very rarely is it the other way around. So my thing is, if you're going to deal with me and you want a guy that has a future and you want a guy that has certain things in place, well, that's going to come with, I'm going to have some qualifications too. And most men don't want promiscuous women.
Correct.
So, I mean, I generally think that women that are promiscuous don't deserve a good man. I don't think so. And the studies show that it's in your best interest to not marry one of these girls because they're going to fuck your life up.
Yeah.
There's a reason why when you look at porn stars, all their relationships almost always end. Because promiscuous women just don't know how to behave a lot of times. If you can't even control the that go into you, then and that's your ultimate power, then you don't deserve a man of value.
There's different cases of promiscuity, I guess, than somebody that is a porn star. It's not somebody that it's experimenting on her
it's an
youth.
example.
So
It's just an example, but I mean,
Yeah.
women in general that are not worthy of long-term relationships
I
with a
get
guy
it.
that's worth anything, in my opinion.
I get it.
So